you mentioned one of the conversations that started with, hey, I was dreading this phone call. And the conversations you did have with people, because this book came out, 10 years after the fact, how fresh were those memories in their mind? I'm curious about the degree with which they are still living with these things 10 years in the rearview mirror.
So my position in what I was doing, being the RTO, so being the radio telephone operator, I'm out on almost every mission because you have to have comms on the battlefield, especially a modern battlefield.
Yeah.
So when you take in these other perspectives, you have to think too, is it wasn't always a particular squad, that was in there. So it was really, that had to be part of it. You had to put these other perspectives into it because my job at the same time, I'm the commo guy. I might not be seeing it from, matter of fact, I know for a fact, the situation you were talking about, one of the guys in particular was blown over the wall with the other guy that became our first KIA out there. Nobody saw what he saw for the first 5 minutes, and as well as these different pictures and stuff, these different snapshots within there that once you start putting everything together, there's another instance that I'm thinking of to where someone was hit with an IED and the sequence of events happened. But there was people that I had talked to that they actually took themselves and they put themselves in the body of the person doing that particular action. And it was very clear, and then even going, so the one I'm thinking of is Sergeant Lee. He gets, they came out, we were out on a patrol and Private Betts sets off a few days of hell basically to where that's where we lost quite a few guys. It started off with Betts, and then it was Lee. Edinger lost a leg. That's when Staff Sergeant Brunkhorst was blown up. But Lee was down in this canal when this thing went off. And one of the people that was in charge at the time had thought that he was the one that pulled this particular person out of the canal. And I'm like, that's strange. And I started talking to a few of the other guys and everything didn't match up to what everything matched up, but not that he was doing those actions.
Yeah.
And it took me having to talk to, Lee in particular at the very end. All right, who actually pulled you out of here? And then getting that picture of it afterwards. But then, all right, how do I explain this? How do I bring this information back to this guy? Because this is going to be published, and be like, hey, look, I don't want you to freak out, but you might want to think about what happened here because this is what I found out about it. And I don't want him to read it and go, what? Like, that's not what happened. I want him to be able to kind of process that beforehand. And it was really finding out that in these situations of trauma, people will do that. People will actually put themselves, humans sync up, and especially ones that have been trained and operating at these different levels or in these high stress environments and stuff to where survival is your end state goal, I guess, would be. And that's actually what ended up happening was, he kind of viewed that he did this particular action when it wasn't him at all. So coming across these different instances and challenging, I guess, not me challenging it, but it's challenging what their beliefs has been up to that whole time. That's sort of a tricky situation to deal with.
Yeah, the fog of war is real for sure.